Periodic classification of elements. Classification म्हटल्यार grouping of something. कसले तर हांगा of elements till date जितके elements discover केल्ले आसा the exact number is 118 ते सगळे into systematic groups arrange केल्ले आसा by following certain rules or by following certain format. So हे सगळे elementsचे grouping केल्ले आसा आणि हे groupingक म्हणटा classification. Elements म्हटल्यार कितें तेजे periodic classification, history of periodic classification कित्याक जाय, importance of classification हे सगळे आमी हे टॉपिकान कवर करतली. Elements Elements are the substances containing atoms of only one type. Example sodium, gold, magnesium, etc. The elements are the substances, but these are the substances which contain atoms of only one type. Remember ki has substance which contains only one type of atom and not one atom. Element will contain one type of atom. एकूच type of atom आस्तलो. If it is sodium element, जाल्यार sodium elementan फक्त सोडियमाचेच atoms आस्तले. Mixture आसपाना. सोडियमान दुसरो खंयचो atom आसपाना. सोडियमान गोल्डाचो atom आसपाना. सोडियमान मॅग्नेशियमाचो atom आसपाना. तर सोडियमान फक्त सोडियम atoms मेळटले. गोल्डान फक्त गोल्ड एटम मेळटले मॅग्नेशियमान फक्त मॅग्नेशियम एटम सो एलिमेंट्स आर द सबस्टन्सेस कंटेनिंग एटम्स ऑफ ओनली वन टाइप There are around 118 elements known to us. 118 elements till date discover केल्ले आसा. Elements are classified to make the study easy. Elements कित्याक classify करतात तर study easy करपाक लागून. आता see, तुमका समज एक information जाय about any element. आता 118 elements आसा so it is not possible की each and every elementaचे तुम्ही each and every character or property याद दवरप. It is not possible. याद उरपाक शकना. So in such a case, element classification is very important. आणि classification करताना कितें करता तर elements similarities आणि dissimilarities पळयता आणि similar elements will be grouped together. एक group आस्तलो आणि ते ग्रुपान जे elements fall जातात तेंचे characteristics तेंचे properties same आस्तल्यो. So as per this divisions जातले of groups. So तुमका आता information जाय about one element आणि तुमका समज खबर आसा ते element खंयच्या ग्रुपान fall जाता जाल्यार तुमका easily तेज्यो कॅरेक्टर्स और इजिली तेजे प्रॉपर्टी जरी कलेक्ट जातल्यो आणि तुमका इच अँड एव्हरी एलिमेंटाची सेपरेटली प्रॉपर्टी याद दवरपाची गरज ना आणि हे पॉसिबल बी ना 118 एलिमेंट्साचे याद दवरपाक सो इन सच केस क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ एलिमेंट्स हेल्प फक्त ग्रुपाची जी प्रॉपर्टीज आसा ते याद दवरप आणि खंयच्या ग्रुपान खंयचे एलिमेंट्स फॉल जाता ते याद दवरप इज इम्पॉर्टंट इन द पास्ट There were many scientists and researchers who worked to classify the elements. Some were successful in that, whereas some were not. But जे main जे आसा scientist जेणी most contribute केले to the classification of elements ते आमी आज पळयतली. One of them is Dobreno. Dobreno gave the law Dobrena's triad. आता हो law कितें सांगता तर when the elements were arranged in order of increasing atomic masses in a group of three triad, the atomic mass of the middle was the average of the atomic mass of the other two elements. आता Dobrena's triad तेजो हो जो लॉ आसा तेजो बेसिस कोण तर atomic mass. Atomic mass म्हटल्यार simply mass of atom that is mass of protons आणि neutrons taken together. इलेक्ट्रॉनाचो मास इज बीन निग्लेक्टेड कित्याक तर इट इज व्हेरी स्मॉल आणि एलिमेंट्स वर अरेंज्ड इन ऑर्डर ऑफ इन्क्रीजिंग एटॉमिक मासेस तर ट्रायड कित्याक म्हटला तर तेजो जो लॉ आसा त्या लॉवान तेणी ग्रुप केला ऑफ 3 एलिमेंट्स एक ग्रुपान ओनली 3 एलिमेंट्स दॅट इज वाय इट इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रायड आता तेजो लॉ इन सिंपल वर्ड्स कितें सांगता तर जेन्ना एलिमेंट्स तेंच्या इन्क्रीजिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ एटॉमिक मासेसान अरेंज करता इन अ ग्रुप ऑफ 3 एका ग्रुपान ओनली 3 एलिमेंट्स तेन्ना एटॉमिक मास ऑफ मिडल एलिमेंट मदल्या एलिमेंटाचो एटॉमिक मास विल बी द एवरेज ऑफ द अदर टू म्हटल्यार फर्स्ट एलिमेंट आणि लास्ट एलिमेंट और थर्ड एलिमेंट एड करून डिवाइड बाय 2 करून जो आन्सर मेळटा तेका एवरेज म्हणटा तो आन्सर will be the atomic mass of the middle element. This is what Dobrena's law states. Let us take an example over here. लिथियम, सोडियम आणि पोटॅशियम. सो एज पर डोब्रेनर्स लॉ एक ग्रुपान 3 एलिमेंट्स. सो लिथियम घेतलो, पोटॅशियम घेतलो. लिथियम एट फर्स्ट प्लेस, पोटॅशियम एट थर्ड प्लेस आणि इनक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ एटॉमिक मासीस हे ऑर्डरीन घेतला. आणि हो जो सेकंड पोझिशन असा तो ब्लँक दवरिल्लो. आफ्टर दिस लिथियमाच्या एटॉमिक मासाची आणि पोटॅशियमाच्या एटॉमिक मासाची एव्हरेज काडप. दॅट इज एड बोथ आणि डिवाइड बाय 2. आन्सर इज 23. सो हो जो 23 आन्सर असा तो एटॉमिक मास ऑफ द सेकंड एलिमेंट जो ह्या ग्रुपान लागता. So lithium, potassium and then sodium. After this calculation, sodium काढलो आणि in this second place घातलो and then the group was complete. So हो first triad using the Dobrainer's law. Second triad calcium, strontium, barium. Again the same 40 plus 137 divided by 2 the answer was 88.5 and Dobrena found that जो त्यांनी law use करून जो first triad form केलो answer जो असा it was exactly matching the real atomic mass of the element calculated value and the actual value was exact. Second triad calcium, strontium, barium again the same thing एव्हरेज काडपाची फर्स्ट आणि थर्ड एलिमेंटाचो एंड जो आन्सर येता इट विल बी द एटॉमिक मास ऑफ द सेकंड एलिमेंट ऑफ द ट्रायड. कॅल्क्युलेटेड व्हॅल्यू जो आशिल्लो तेजो इट वॉज 88.5 आणि जो एक्चुअल व्हॅल्यू आशिल्लो इट वॉज 87.6. सो तेणी नोट केले की सेकंड ट्रायड जो आशिल्लो तेजो तेतून स्लाइट डेविएशन जाल्ले इन द एक्चुअल एंड द कॅल्क्युलेटेड व्हॅल्यू. Then third triad chlorine, bromine, iodine. Here also same law was applied. The calculated value was 81.5 and actual value was 80. Here also deviation झाले. Hollow Dobryna's triad was not universally accepted as the standard law for classification of elements. किद्याक तर it had certain limitations. Limitations. First limitation was only 3 triads were identified from the elements known at that time. So Dobryner could identify only these 3 triad initially आणि त्यांनी नोटीस केले की जेव्हा तो for higher elements गेलो his law was not at all applicable. So he could find only the first 3 triad. Starting slight deviation आशिल्ले but जेन्ना तो higher elements गेलो he noticed की खूप व्हडले deviation जावपाक लागले and his law was not at all applicable later on. So he could identify only first 3 triad. Second thing, as the new elements discovered, they were not accommodated in the triads. जेन्ना new elements discovered झाले तेंका प्लेस नाशिल्ली इन डोब्रेनर्स ट्रायड. तेणी गॅप्स लीव करून नाशिल्ले, तेणी स्पेस सोडून नाशिल्लो. सो जेन्ना न्यू डिस्कवर्ड जाली एलिमेंट्स तेंका जागो नाशिल्लो फॉर अकोमोडेशन. So this was the second limitation of Dobryner. Second is the Newland's law of octaves. According to this law, when elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic masses, it was found that every eighth element had properties similar to that of the first. न्यूलँडाचो जो लॉ आशिल्लो तेजोय बेसीस आशिल्लो एटॉमिक मास सेम लायक डोब्रेनर and he'd been elements in the increasing order of atomic masses arranged केले. He found that every eighth element जो आशिल्लो in a series it had properties similar to that of the first and that is why it is called as law of octaves. Octaves किद्याक तर octaves are the musical notes which you find in music like in Hindi we have sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. In English we have do re mi fa sol la ti. So since his law resembles the musical notes that is why तेका octaves म्हटला. Example properties of sodium and lithium are the same. So here पयली arrange करपाचे all the elements in the increasing order of the atomic masses and then start the calculation. आता समज लिथियमाचो ग्रुप फॉर्म करपाक जाय आमकां a group जेतून लिथियम आसतलो आणि दुसरे एलिमेंट्स आसतले having similar properties to lithium. So start counting from here. लिथियम आमचो 1 जातलो आणि जो 8th एलिमेंट जो आमकां मेळट 8th पोझिशनाचेर जो मेळटलो तो in the group of lithium astolo similar to lithium. So start the count. Lithium 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8th one is sodium. So sodium काढलो आणि in लिथियमाच्या ग्रुपान घातलो. Then again start the counting मुखाल्लो एलिमेंट मेळपाक लागून. आता sodium will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is how counting will keep on going आणि अशें करून elements जे आसा they will be grouped. So this is the table showing many groups जे की केल्या using this Newland's law of octaves. Same thing, first element and the eighth element in the sequence will be similar and will be placed in one group. So accordingly, different groups केल्या like ह्या ग्रुपान hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine, cobalt and nickel, bromine. So these are different groups. आता Newland law also was not accepted as the standard law for classification of elements. कित्याक तर this law also had certain limitations. The limitations खंयची? First, it was applicable only up to calcium, as after calcium, every eighth element did not possess properties similar to that of the first. हो जो law असा, Newland's law, it was applicable only up to calcium. कॅल्शियम पर्यंत लॉ सारको वर्क केलो बट आफ्टर कॅल्शियम फर्स्ट आनी एथ एलिमेंट जी आशिल्ली जेन्ना ती ग्रुपान येयली दे फाउंड की हो जो फर्स्ट आनी एथ एलिमेंट सिक्वन्स जो आसा आफ्टर कॅल्शियम इट वॉज नॉट करेक्ट आणि इट वॉज नॉट एप्लिकेबल. सेकंड, properties of new elements couldn't fit into the law of octaves. सो न्यूलँडान जेन्ना क्लासिफिकेशन केलें तेणी स्पेसिफीक प्रॉपर्टीज घेतल्यो आनी क्लासिफिकेशन केलें आणि जेन्ना न्यू एलिमेंट्स डिस्कवर जाले तेंचे प्रॉपर्टीज डिफरंट आशिल्ल्यो ज्यो की न्यूलँडाच्या क्लासिफिकेशनान फिट बसना बिकॉज न्यूलँड वॉज स्पेसिफीक विथ हिज प्रॉपर्टीज वायल डुईंग क्लासिफिकेशन. थर्ड, dissimilar elements placed in same slot. Cobalt and nickel was placed in a group along with fluorine and chlorine which were having different properties. So हो जो group असा hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine, cobalt, nickel and bromine. So हे ग्रुपान fluorine, chlorine were showing different properties, cobalt and nickel were showing different properties, but then also they were placed in the same group or in the same slot. So this was limitation. Fourth one, similar elements placed in different slots like ferrous, cobalt and nickel placed differently. Also cobalt and nickel asa तो actually along with ferrous aspak जाय आशिल्लो in this group. But then with this law, Newland's law of octaves, they were placed differently, which was not correct. So this was also the limitation.